Welcome to this segment of Philly on the Rise. As you know, I'm your host, Michael W. Pleasant. And this week, Philly on the Rise finds us in our downtown studios of Philly on the Rise. We're actually joined by a very special and important guest. He's a very busy man, but he's taken some time out of his schedule to join us here on the show, and we're glad to have him. Obviously, you know Kenny Gamble's group, Universal Companies, and you should also know this fellow here. He is the CEO of Universal Companies, Mr. Rahim Islam. Thanks a lot for coming on down, taking some time out of your busy schedule for Philly on the Rise.
Well, you making me feel tired when you say busy, but I'm honored to be here.
Well, you're running from here to there and back and forth again, right?
Well, you know, my position is you always can turn it down. It's very hard to turn it up.
Okay.
So I keep it up real high, so I can always turn it down.
Okay, understood. Well, for today, we want to keep it up, right?
Keep it up. Yeah,
keep it up. Oh man, you know, congratulations on all of the success that Universal Companies has had. And what I really love about Universal Companies is that you're in the community. You know, you got your sleeves rolled up and you're there fighting the good fight. What does it mean to you for Universal Companies to be a vessel for change in our African American communities?
Well, one of the fundamental principles of Universal is we call it local leadership. We have a plan called the Universal Plan. And one of the key components of that plan is to have local leadership. We're going to change the conditions facing the African American community. Guess what? We're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we sitting back waiting for someone else to do it, it ain't going to happen.
Not going to happen.
In fact, the last 50, 60 years, conditions have gotten worse. And they're projected even worse if you look at many of the inputs today. Over the next 15 to 25 years, they're going to get worse, if you can imagine.
Now you say 56 years, is that worse after segregation, after the civil rights movements of the 60s?
A combination of the segregation and also civil rights, yeah, around that period of time.
Okay.
They coincide, but literally, I'll give you an example where you have 90% of our families during that period of time were headed by two parents. But today you have 25%. So you have significant demise in the structural family. The family life is the foundation for community life. And so if you don't have that, you have what we have today. And so we have also a community that keeps running away from the problems. At least during segregation, we were forced to handle our problems and deal with our issues. Now today, we're running and running and running. So going back to your first question is that Universal is about, you know, creating local leadership, hands-on approach, knowing and fundamentally taking responsibility for the conditions of our community. If we're ever going to do it, there's no cavalry waiting outside the main line going to come in and save our people. There's no group coming from wherever. There's no miracle man. There's no magician. Nothing's going to happen. The conditions that we see on a daily basis, unless we change them. And so you talk about real estate, you talk about the charter schools, you talk about so many plethora of outreach activities, and yet education seems to be the foundation. We know Malcolm X says that education is the passport to the future. So why? Why this? Well, fundamentally, there are two approaches. There's the intervention, which we find ourselves on the outcomes, looking at the outcomes and try to fix those outcomes. We never go to the core root of the problem. And education is the core. It's the beginning of it. If we're educated properly, we have a concept at Universal, when you know better, you do better. If you don't know any better, how can you expect to do any better? When you're born into conditions where you are born into abnormal, unstable environments, 9 times out of 10, you're going to replicate those unstable environments.
So let's talk about this.
That's what we have.
Let's talk about this, because you're right. If you're born into this environment, you may replicate it.
No, not may.
Oh, you think you will? 100%.
It's been proven. Drug addicts with children, 9 times out of 10, their children become drug addicts, they become drug addicts. They abuse their parents, abuse their children, abuse each other, they abuse each other.
So how do we break the cycle then? We have to break the cycle.
Well, we have to create stable families. That's how you break the cycle. That's one of the ways you break the cycle. Now I guess it's not para pursuit all the way, but the likelihood of a sexual abused child, they have the tendency to abuse children.
Because it's become a learned behavior.
Well, it's a pathology that psychologists and sociologists are telling us these are the conditions, these are human conditions. These are, so where you start matters. So if you start in poverty, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end in poverty.
And breaking the cycle, how do we do it?
Well, Education.
Okay. Uh-huh.
That's why education is critical. But it's not just the academics of ABCs of education. Fundamentally, we believe at Universal, the fundamental reason why we keep running this circle and not making any gains, in fact, we're losing gains, is because the education we're getting is not about who we are.
Okay.
Who we are as a great people.
Sure.
Who we are as a people who have been under some of the most worst conditions of any group of people in the history of man. And we survived that.
Sure.
Not only survived it, we prospered. We actually won. That should be touted as a victory of all victories. But
So
it's quiet. It's
so
not even mentioned, not even talked about.
So your education almost starts with history, who we are, where we come from.
Before we were enslaved,
Uh-huh.
but the process when we were enslaved here in America, these conditions have created what we call the legacies of slavery.
Sure.
And these legacies prevail today. And they're in every aspect of our lives. And so we have to come to understand them. And so when we look at a total wipeout, and we look at the average person, look at the conditions of our community, they have to begin to believe that we are somewhat inferior. They believe it.
Okay.
They've been told that in many ways. And through language,
Through the media.
through the media,
Yes.
through religion,
Okay.
through education,
Sure.
that they even couch the whole 300 years of chattel slavery as a Super Bowl event. Like it's a concert, an event that happened. That wasn't an event. That was an institution that was on the backs of black people. And yet we don't understand that we have the psychological the scars of that event, of that institution in our DNA.
Yeah,
and we have to recognize it. And when we come up with solutions, we have to understand that those solutions have to be looked at the core cause of our problem. And not just the surface symptoms.
So what your school does, which is lovely, you definitely teach about where we've come from, where we've been. That's one of the differences in the curriculum. And give us some of the other.
And fundamentally, ownership of the problem.
Okay.
Personal responsibility.
Yes.
Guess what? There's A. Philip Randolph said, there are no reserved seats at the table of life. You get what you can take.
Okay.
And as a community, we have to learn how to take those seats. And guess what? Our conditions are what they are. But the bottom line is that nobody's going to cry, oh, poor black people.
Right.
Let's help those black people. No, you got to help yourself. You got to do yourself. So part of the education is, one, being parallel on academics, but also have a good grounded understanding of who you are and your responsibility as being a change agent, not as a passive, bystander and watching these things go on.
Sure.
And another thing they say, if you're not creating the menu, you on the menu.
Okay. All right.
And
I like
so
that.
we have to create the menu, and the menu for us is education. The menu for us is economics. The menu for us is to stop this mass incarceration of our black men. The menu for us is to restoring our black families. The menu for us is getting our message out, promoting black pride, promoting the heritage of black heritage, and supporting. The menu for us is going against structural racism, structural discrimination, structural bias.
So this is the
menu
for Universal Company.
That's the agenda.
Understood. That is the complete
That's the
100%
That's the
agenda.
game plan.
Okay, understood.
And guess what? Nobody's going to fight that fight for us. We got to fight it for ourselves.
Let's talk about the accomplishments, because there's quite a few. Let's talk about the accomplishments and what you're most proud of as the CEO of Universal Companies.
Well, one, we're still in business.
How long has it been?
22 years.
Okay, all right.
I'm very accomplished, proud of the fact we've built almost 1,500 units housing. We're working in 12 different neighborhoods. We employ about 600 people.
Okay.
I'm proud of the fact that we've increased our scope. We've constantly grown. And expanded our scope, because what we realize is that it takes power, it takes energy, it takes force to be able to fix some of these issues. It takes capacity. So we've built some capacity. So I'm proud now to know that we've constantly grown, made some physical accomplishments. We've put people in good homes. We're educating 5,000 students now. We employ about 600 people. We're working in 12 different neighborhoods. We're outside the city of Philadelphia. We're in a number of different cities outside of the city of
Oh,
Philadelphia.
give us some of those cities.
Oh, we're in Newark, New Jersey. We're doing a lot of housing in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
We operate 2 schools in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We're looking at some schools in Chicago right now.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of the fact that the universal plan is now a polished plan. It's took 20-something years to develop.
Sure.
But it's a work in process. But the problem is, or what I'm proud about is the fact that it's looked at almost every key segment of our community, and institutionally how those institutions are either hurting or helping our community.
Okay.
And also looking at the problem from a more systemic nature as opposed to the symptoms. And also the interconnection of those problems. There's a definite connection between education and high unemployment.
Okay.
There's a definite connection between education and high levels of poverty. There's a definite connection between education and incarceration.
Sure.
There's definitely a connection between education and the state of our health. Our spiritual health, our mental health, and our physical health.
And this is what's really good about your school, because you guys seek to address the holistic
the core
student.
Connection, variable to all of those is education.
Understood, 100%. Yeah, let's talk about this, because obviously no one's perfect, no company's perfect. So where in your mind can universal companies grow or get better?
Oh, sure. We need money. We need resources.
Well, we all need money and resources.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's I say out of all the disparities the black man face in America, the economic one is the biggest one.
Okay.
Because we're living in a capitalist society with no capital. And a capital, I'll give you a statistic. In 1864, we had 99.5% of us were enslaved. We had a little bit less than 1% of us were free. That 1% owned 1/2 of 1% of the nation's wealth.
Okay.
Now that we're free 100%, at least we're supposed to be physically free. We might be mentally slaves, but we're physically free 100%. We still only own 1/2 of 1% of the nation's wealth.
Wow. Okay.
So, and everything you do in America is about going to cost, for finance. So you're at a disadvantage when you can't capitalize your ideas, when you can't capitalize your business concepts, when you can't capitalize your institutions. You can't build institutions without money. So the biggest issue for us, and will be all for every black organization in America, is going to be at the end of the day is capital, access to capital, and creating wealth. And right now, that is the biggest challenge for universities.
But you've set across a beautiful blueprint. The blueprint, which started here in Philadelphia and now has mushroomed to other cities.
Well, institution is not an institution until it can sustain itself. And right now, Universal could not sustain itself. We still have to grow. We have a business model that in the next 10 to 15 years, if we continue doing what we do, it won't matter who's in charge.
Okay.
It will go on, just like all the other institutions in America.
Sure.
But the difference is they were capitalized up front.
Okay.
And we are, just like almost everything that we do what we call sweat equity. We don't have dollar equity. And that is distinction. And as long as we have that, we're going to have challenges in a capitalist society.
Let's return back to our children, because obviously they're at the forefront of universal companies. And let's talk about our boys and girls, and how do we build leaders? How can we build leaders? Obviously education is important. But let's talk about some other ways of how we can build.
Well, I think for the most part, there are core competencies that I think are integrated in the universal curriculum. But I think you really cannot lead if you do not know where you've been.
Okay.
It's just impossible.
Sure.
Marcus Garvey said that a tree without roots won't stand.
Okay.
And in fact, most trees, the stronger the tree, the deeper the root.
Yeah. Okay.
So how is it we have this very surface, narrow understanding of who we are? That got to be rooted.
Sure. Now some of that has to come from the family structure, because you're not going to get it in the public school education. Well, you're not going to get it on TV too often unless it's a documentary.
No. I think it's got to be a combination, but I think we have to double down in our education.
But we know it's not coming from the school district.
No. not school.
Not
our
universal.
school.
Okay, yes. Okay.
That's why we're doing it.
Okay.
We're not definitely waiting on the school district. Hell no, they still debating the issue whether it's necessary.
Okay. Yeah.
I just finished saying, is it necessary? It's essential.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? No. So I'm focusing on universal schools.
Understood.
And you talk about leadership. How do we grow leadership?
Mm-hmm.
But we also have to have, they got to be diverse. Understand diversity, the concept of diversity.
Sure.
What groups mean, what they bring to the table. They got to also have a very good understanding of problem solving.
Okay.
I mean, how to look at a problem. How do you look at a problem? How to fix a problem is based on your ability to look at a problem. If you see a problem as a problem versus you see a problem as an opportunity, it's a different situation.
Yes. Okay.
Everything can be solved.
Yes.
The other thing is that those critical thinking skills have to be incorporated, which they are incorporated in the curriculum. So a combination of problem solving, critical thinking skills, inclusiveness, how to work and embrace other human beings and other people with different ideas and different cultures and different concepts.
Sure.
But also have a very firm understanding of who you are.
Yeah.
And your contribution and your abilities and your ownership of your own problems.
Okay.
And the contributions you're prepared to bring to the table.
Sure.
That produces the leadership.
Understood.
And guess what? I see in our young people, I see it all day long.
Okay.
I see Malcolm X. I see Elijah Muhammad.
Oh, yeah.
I see Martin Luther King.
All day long.
I see all day long.
You see leaders. Okay.
All day long.
Yeah.
The problem is our society stifles them. Our society kills that spirit. We create right now massive amounts of hope until as period goes on, they start to see realities, and that reality is not reconciled with their spirit. And at the end of the day, it creates hopelessness.
Gotcha.
And so we have to capture it and keep them. And that's what we have to do at scale. Not 10 children, not 15 children.
Yeah.
That's why our goal is to get to 10,000 children.
Okay, all right.
So in 10,000 children, we can rock and roll.
Yeah.
We can create a movement.
Yeah, sure.
We can produce and demonstrate and show a large number of children who are thinking. And it goes back to another concept of universal called the tipping point, which is a real estate term.
Okay, give us the tipping
point.
The
tipping point is basically having more good than bad.
Okay.
And in real estate development, when that happens in a community, you have more good than bad.
Okay.
Then you have a tipping point. And then...
Now, when you say good, bad, you talking about good students versus bad students?
No.
Good behavior versus bad behavior?
Well, in
good
real estate, you talk
bad?
about good housing versus bad housing.
Right.
So yes, in students, I have a good idea. Conscious students, if they're more than the unconscious students, they will lead. Right now, the peer pressure is whoever is leading.
Sure.
Whatever idea is leading is running the show.
Sure.
So if the tipping point in a school and the climate change from being dumb as you can be as being cool to being smart as you can be as being cool, then you're going to be cool.
Now, is there a way that your teachers facilitate that, or you let that kind of happen amongst the students?
No, it has to happen everywhere. Climate people, students, parents, school, it has to be completely, and right now, we have to change the paradigm of, again, low expectations. It starts with high expectations, a heavy respect and appreciation and value for our ancestors.
Sure.
Teaching them, you got it. It's in your DNA.
Yeah.
You just got to wake up.
Understood,
Get your act together.
Sure.
And I'm not going to be tolerating this nonsense.
Okay.
So we have that tipping point in education.
Let's talk about the receptive. Are the kids receptive? Because it sounds as though you really hold them to a strong
the kids are the easiest.
Okay.
It's the parents. It's the community.
You hear that, parents? It's the parents.
It's the parents. It's the community. It's the adults.
Okay.
The adults is the ones that's been screwing all this stuff up.
Okay.
I mean, it ain't the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are pretty much are looking for love.
Okay.
And they just want to be loved. They just want to be loved in a correct way.
Okay.
So they're not the problem. I mean, sometimes they become the problem, but they're not. You take the kids and it's just. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I even say, I have 9 children.
9 children?
9 children.
You got me beat by 6, brother. And that's okay. I don't think I'm catching up
I'm
to
not
you.
kidding. And I tell my wife all the time, I says, Wouldn't it be great if they just stayed young for all of it? They never got older.
Right.
You know, they never experienced their personality. They never grow.
Yeah.
They just that nice little kid
Exactly.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, they could be that. You can keep that spirit, but it has to be cultivated. It has to be purposeful.
Okay.
It can't happen accidentally.
Sure.
We can't let none of this stuff happen accidentally because
Sure.
it's too massive, it's too bad. We have to be purposeful about what we're doing. We have to have strong strategic strategies to do them. We have to have real good measurements to see if we're making progress.
Sure, understood. Progress. You're definitely making a lot of progress.
Well,
let's talk about what's next. What's next for Universal Companies? Is it just further expansion across
right now, we're trying to tighten up our organizational structure, tighten up all the delivery. We hired Dr. Penny Nixon, who just recently came on board last year. She's doing a phenomenal job structuring the educational delivery.
Okay.
We just hired George Burrell, who's been very, very good in pulling all of our operations together. So internally, we're doing some things there.
Okay. Yeah.
But also, I think the biggest thing that we're doing right now is trying to organize the African American community.
Okay.
And because we say fundamentally, Universal's just like every other organization, black organization that we've known about over the last 100 years, it had a start date, it had an end date. And the reason why it had an end date is because no one organization is going to fix the problems of our community.
Right.
We have to build collective leadership. And so Universal is now instituted, started to lead the effort for the Philadelphia Community of Leaders. And I would love to bring a couple of the leaders together. We have young people, we have a council of elders, we have emerging leaders and young people. How do we bring these generations of people together to begin addressing the problems facing our community? And we're leaving something on the table so that the next generation is not starting over.
Understood.
We're not going to fix these problems in our generation. They're going to happen overnight and they're going to be fixed overnight.
Sure.
But we believe that we have to do better.
Yeah.
We have to organize our efforts, and we have to do what A. Philip Randolph said. We're not going to be able to secure a seat at the table of life unless we take it. We can't take it without organization.
Organization indeed. Mr. Rahim Islam, thanks a lot for joining us on Philly on the Rise.
Hey, invite me back, brother. I'll be here.
Will you bring donuts next time?
Absolutely. And coffee.
And coffee. Thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us for this segment of Philly on the Rise, and we'll see you soon.